I think I'm going to wear my fringe expert coat to March today. With some big red earrings. And I'm going to hang the little books in them. It's like frames. I invented these earrings. I call them circular logic earrings, and I make them with bangles. And I also made these earrings, and I've already sold 2. Oops, wait, where are the main ones? I just think the strips are all so pretty. And I got OMG. OMG. Hang on. So I made those because I found a piece of that stuff at a thrift store. And then, of course, I realized that that's just another material with which I can work. And so now I'm going to be in my chainmail phase. Gonna make cult coats, I think, that are like strips of chainmail on the front, then fuzzy sleeves. And probably fuzzy back, because that seems uncomfortable. Buenos dias! That's how I wake up knitting cult, baby. It's good morning, bon dia, buenos dias, guten morgen. So, the languages I know how to say good morning. Oh, what culture was at the library? Are you on a long wait list? Knitting Cult Baby does want the chainmail. She's like, can I have it? No. You can probably have a piece of it. That's not fair. No, that's not fair. Shalom. Aloha. That could be another one. Morning, cat. All right, we gotta package up a couple books, maybe like 15. And then I gotta sign the rest of the box. And then I gotta walk to the train to downtown DC, go to a march. You know, good stuff. No, I don't buy homophobia yarn either. Most of my stuff these days I get from thrift stores. This was all sent to me by someone. This color is different than the rest. But also Amazon. I'm not afraid that Trump is going to do anything about the march. No. I mean, I'll write my lawyer's name on my arm in Sharpie, but that's as concerned as I am. Marches today. I believe there is a veteran show of force in every state capital today. We're like, come for us. Remember us? The people you sent into very questionable wars, then absolutely betrayed our allies on the way out, and now you're trying to pretend like you're going to come for our benefits? Adorable. Adorable. They've already backed off of Social Security. I have not been arrested for marching before. I feel like they will take away my yarn, and that would be very sad. But, we do what we must. Much rather have had like an angry like crochet sit-in to hold Kamala's feet to the fire, but here we are. We can lay down in front of tanks. No, being afraid to show up to protests, that's conceding in advance. I will not speak about martial law anymore because nobody listens. So y'all are just going to have to be afraid of impossible things. Honestly, the panic on the, if Donald Trump is able to pull off taking a country from a democracy to a dictatorship, the unmitigated panic and persecution fantasy porn from the left is going to be a big part of the reason. So he was like, what if they're driving tanks down the streets? Stop it. Soldiers are not even armed when they're in America. Like, stop it. You're just having fun with persecution fantasies at this point, and you're helping them win. I mean, we're going to be recovering from this for a century. And what I said before, when we thought they were going to lose, is we're going to need to World War II it. We're going to need to write 1 million books about this and, figure out what happened. But part of what makes America impossible to control by force is a bunch of assholes like me on the internet talking shit about the government. Like, if we weren't doing that, it would be harder. Germans are consummate rule followers, and Germany is smaller than Texas. Germany would still be easier to control by force than America, even with their modern military that is a lot like ours, because Germans follow rules. Germans make a joke that they've never had a popular revolution because the peasants couldn't afford the train fare. And in America, we'll just tear up your train lines if we don't like you. Yes, we did talk. White Women Whisperer, we talk a lot about how being exhausted and being afraid and being in apocalypse mode is where they want you. I'm sorry you got furloughed. And I'm sorry we're not paying more attention to that and to government shutdowns and to the havoc that is being wreaked because everyone is walking around screaming about martial law. College students. They're not keeping the children. It is always, always, always easier to get young men into your cult because women are always a servant class in cults, which are patriarchal in nature. And so waking up the young women right now, they don't have enough young women to keep going, right? Gen Z women did not vote for Trump. There were quite a few all-male celibate cults. The famous one being called the Shakers. They apparently had a really good baseball team that was almost professional. I should have learned to rope and run. Where's my tape? Where's my tape? This is Hello Kitty. Was more operational military deployed combat time than probably most of these bros out there mongering fear. Hello Kitty tells you that martial law is not possible in the United States. My childhood. Well, I wrote a whole book about it. It's called Uncultured. You can get signed copies up in the link in the bio. because I am in TikTok jail. I'm in TikTok shop jail this time. I'm only allowed to sell one item a day, and then they turn off my shop. So it's Knitting Cult Lady Roulette. Somebody already got it today. Speaking of Germany, sending culture to somebody in Germany. This is the Catholic Church. Oh my God. Obviously not, but that's funny. It's definitely a cult where women are the servant class, just like all the other ones. Cloud in sight, so I guess I'm feeling all right. There's a lot of clouds in sight. I actually don't know if my planned outfit is going to work with the weather, which is sad. My sister is at the doom scrolling and read. Yeah. I mean, people have been swimmingly chickens with their heads cut off for 7 weeks. And like everything he's tried, most of it has been stopped. Like the courts are holding. What he is trying to do, okay, taking a country from a democracy to a dictatorship has never been done on a country with as much history of democracy as we have. It's never been done in a country as big or as populous as we have. There are almost a third of Russians. Don't start with me. And it's never been done without owning the military. And he does not own the military. And when it has been done, it has taken decades. Decades. Not 4 years. Even if we were all standing in line right now, ready and willing to hand over our weapons, it would take longer than 4 years to disarm 340 million people. In the link in my bio takes you to my website, and that's where you can purchase signed books. There's also a link to my Etsy, which is where you can purchase some things like my super cool mermaid earrings. What do mermaids have to do with cults? Well, you see, they let us watch The Little Mermaid because it was, they said, a Jesus story, sacrificing yourself for your daughter. But what it meant to me was that she fucking got away from them in the end. So I definitely threw myself a princess birthday party when I turned 36. And it was glorious. It was basically a wedding with no men. Also, when you tell a bunch of millennial women to dress up as princesses, fully half of them dress up as villains, which was also me because I was Ursula After Dark. Trump is trying to do everything. Trump is trying to be a dictator. He's trying to be a dictator. That is the answer. He wants to be every bit as bad as any historical dictator we have ever seen. He's studied them his whole life. That's what he wants to do. What I have been saying is he's not going to be successful because he has spent zero time, for example, getting to understand our military and how our military operates. But as long as y'all keep walking around saying stuff, like people are like, he fired everyone with military knowledge. He fired all of the JAGs. He fired all of the JAG generals, which is hilarious because general means general officer. You are taken away from whatever your job was, and you are now a general officer. He fired the heads of the branches. There remain, as always, thousands and thousands and thousands of lawyers in the military. It's creepy AF that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is saying that he would unalive people for Trump. But you know how many people the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff unalives? Zero. Zero. Those are the lieutenants and the captains and the privates and the specialists. And they will look at him and say, are you freaking bonkers? We're not going to go kill Canadians. He's just a cult leader bloviating. You really need to stop taking him seriously in the way of panic. You don't need to be here, Lorenzo. If you don't understand the points of these chats, like absolutely nobody went out and got you and invited you to come here. Everybody that's here should understand why they're here. Have a day. Okay, so but also the things that you're panicked about. This is what disaster planning is for. What do? You're afraid of him enacting the alien law? What are you going to do about it? You're afraid of martial law on April 20th? What are you going to do about it? That's what disaster planning is for. What will you do? The White Women Get Ready book is so good. It is so good. I'm a little bit paused on it because I can't tag the book, so it feels like a waste. It's so good. Oh, thanks. I made it, of course. Well, I bought the best. And then I made it better. Yeah, but it's not going to happen because there's no plan. Like, this is, again, why I'm done talking about martial law. But, like, if he woke up and he was like, martial law, make it so, right? The next thing that has to happen is a bunch of colonels and generals in the normal army, this would be captains and majors, have to go make an operational plan. And there is no operational plan where 2 million people can hold 340 million people over almost 4,000 square miles of very, very, very different terrain. So you don't even get out of planning. Like, you don't even have a bad attempt. And helicopters going in to rescue people from Hurricane Katrina took more incoming fire than they did in the invasion of Iraq. As I said, Americans are not Germans. Current federal employee for now. Yeah. Yeah, it is getting scary. Yeah, the military also doesn't take on deliberate operations. The U.S. military, where they are not 3-1. 3-1. That is our doctrine. So, yeah, you can be actively carrying on with your life, and you can stop spreading the craziness. Like, every time somebody says we can't protest because of martial law, you are giving him the country. Make them do it. Dare them. I did end up going, when I graduated from UT Dallas as the valedictorian with a degree in literature. And then I have a master's degree from Harvard in organizational psychology. I do think it starts to break up once he's no longer in office or once he's no longer alive, because it is 100% a cult of personality. It has not been routinized. It has not been passed over to an idea like Mormonism. And so it is not. Not probably going to transfer very well. I mean, I think he'll try. He's trying all the things. He's literally just throwing things at the wall to see what will stick. But people keep acting like executive orders mean anything. They do not until they are confirmed. It's just his little boy version of wishes. And yes, you have to talk to local groups. Talking to local groups is very important. I think everyone figure out what your neighbors know how to do. Helps you sleep better at night. Figure out how to hold your neighborhood against martial law. No, we're not talking about concentration camps. We talk about the active, ongoing threat here. Martial law doesn't even start to become a threat until you start to see the military assuming a weaponized stance in America. We have not seen that. There are Canadians who work at the Pentagon. It's just King Henry VIII style stomping around looking for a war. Town meetings. That's another good one. Heritage Foundation won't go away, but they won't stay in power. Again, this is not how cults work. The Heritage Foundation has been around for 50 years. They needed a Trump. They have a Trump. They do not have a David Miscavige. Right? Every time I make a post about it, I made $1,000 on a post saying J.D. Vance was charismatic as someone who puts his cast iron in the dishwasher. And just the comments on that post are people arguing who would take over. Yeah, exactly. No. J.D. Vance is the opposite of charismatic. People do not love J.D. Vance. Nobody is going to unalive anyone for J.D. Vance. It almost never works to pass down a cult of personality. And when it does, it fractures. And please don't start with Scientology unless you know exactly how much Scientology was fractured. I believe that if it was a party in power, it would fracture too much for them to keep the cult going. We will never have a bigger wall between church and state. We lost that war. That was called the Cult Wars. So in the 70s, people started to get mad at the end of the 70s, right? Mormons, or Manson, Jonestown, people were, what the F about cults? We need some laws to protect people. And then you know what all of y'all religious leaders did? They said, if they put laws about coercive control, they're going to take our power. So then they set out to demonize cult survivors. And the man who came up with the term new religious movements took $100,000 from the Children of God to say that they weren't a cult. And so now we have nothing and we don't care. And that's been decided. Nobody in America cares about children and cults. Unfortunately. Oh, I am really aggressive. Nobody asked you to be here. absolutely nobody went out there and found you and told you to come hang out. Not everything's for you. Bye-bye. Imagine not being angry and aggressive right now. Imagine just thinking everything was totally fine in the world right now. Bye-bye. Thanks for your comment, money. No. You just gotta sign them. These are of the best-selling book that I wrote, of course. I'm not Donald Trump. I only sign books that I wrote. It's called Uncultured. It's about growing up in the Children of God religious cults and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. And the last time I was watching a cult leader run America, I said, I think I have something to say about this. And now I'm the Blue J.D. Vance, which is to say, the veteran with a memoir, high-level memoir, post-Trump election that tells you what just happened. His was Here's Why Angry White Men Voted for Trump. Mine is Your Family's in a Cult. But I very much agree with the statement that if you think this is aggressive, you have not seen me actually go off on you, and you should better not. I mean, unless you work in cybersecurity, like wasting your sleep on whether we are open to be hacked right now, just you don't know. You don't know anything about cybersecurity, and you never will. All of y'all think you know what went on with Snowden, and you don't, and you never will. So if this is the kind of thing, like, yeah, it's a big deal, but only the people that work in cybersecurity can worry about it. The rest of it is just silly. I'm going to the DC rally. That's why I'm here so early. I'm trying to do this. I gotta bounce. Go. Be all marchy and stuff. I think we should have laws against coercive control, and I think we should have freedom from religion laws. So, for example, in Japan, after their waltz with cults, they made it illegal to force children to be in a religion or to go to church, and they call it a soul crime, and it's the most beautiful thing. There's a lot of things we could do. We don't, because America is and always has been a Christian nationalist nation. And because nobody cares about children. And because people love to victim blame. People love to say that an 18-year-old should have known what they signed up for. Love it so much. Other cult experts tell me that the military can't possibly be a cult because you knew what you signed up for and you can get out anytime you want. The two most ludicrous statements ever said about any cult, but especially about the military. The next book is hopefully coming out at the end of the year, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, anybody crying Save the Children, that's almost always connected to a hate group. Tim Ballard, the child trafficker, making that horrible child trafficking movie, always, because they're the ones that are doing it. My kitchen is too funny looking for you. Peace off. Once again, nobody went out and got you. Absolutely nobody cared enough about your existence to go find you and tell you to come here into my kitchen. Have a day. Pussy with more combat time than you tells you to have a day also. Thinking I need their permission or approval to make tons of money on the internet and do exactly what I want with my expertise. It's so cute. It's so cute. You know your comments give me money, right? You know you're paying for my child's piano lessons right now. Maybe our trip across Canada this summer. By the by, I'm going to be in Dallas, and I'm going to be doing a Dallas event probably the 17th of April. And I'm also probably going to be gallivanting through Canada with my family this summer. I think we are switching from Japan to Canada. I mean, we also have a fundraiser at the Blink in the Lio. If we can raise a good amount of money for Culting of America, I will try to do in-person events, but as of now, not as much. Oh yeah, I'm on like my fourth TikTok account. My coffee's usually the right temperature. That's why I have to drink it from a straw. Ooh, I'm gonna learn guitar this summer. I'm getting a guitar for my birthday. My things, part of my healing. It's being like, I didn't get to learn this. Oh, just an acoustic guitar. Probably nothing fancy. Oh no, Knitting Cult Puppy will probably not be coming to Canada. He will just be boarded somewhere and we will be paying lots and lots of money for his existence. Like all those posts. I don't know that I will be coming to Portland. I will almost certainly be coming to Seattle, both this summer and on a book tour. It's because I lived in Seattle for 5 years and we got peeps. Yeah, I mean, Lorenzo, what you're trying to say is what I say, is that the military is a cult. The black and white contract that you signed is part of it. And the conversation we don't want to have in our country is that we have asked 50% of our, sorry, not 50%. We have just asked 1% of our population to be in cults. To protect us or whatever we want to call it. Tell me if it's echoing. So Dallas, I haven't bought my tickets yet, but spring break. So it's that the Thursday is April 17th. That is the day I will probably do a pop-up called Happy Hour. Nowhere else in Texas for now. I try to come to Texas as little as possible. It's just that my family lives there. Why is Mormon? Because Republican family values are all about raping children. Why would you think otherwise? I've always known that what the children of God was out loud is just what Mormons and evangelicals want to be. It's just the level of control they want. Also, purity culture is just the other side of pedophilia culture. Oh no, Elon is definitely going somewhere. First of all, no cult leader abides narcissistic lieutenants this close to him all the time. But also, when a fellow cult leader shows up this hopped up on drugs, like Elon is Jim Jones 3 weeks before the final white knight. I mean, he's end stage right now. I am enjoying it tremendously. I don't actually know that communes that aren't cults that don't hurt individuals are out there. I've never heard anyone address isolation. I've never heard anyone have a good plan for dealing with conflict. And I've never had anyone been able to show me where their good group sometimes loses so that the individual can win. Because that's the only way your system is actually sustainable. That's my rule for good groups. Show me, point to where your group sometimes loses so that individuals can be protected. Yes. Cults are organized crime, right? Cults are all about labor and they are organized crime. And the Mormons are one of the worst. All about child labor. They're all always about child labor. As is every single throwback ever. The Amish. Oh, we like to live in the olden times when there were no labor laws protecting women and children. Isn't it magical? No, I'm not talking about ridiculous anymore because you people don't listen. I'm done talking about the Insurrection Act, the Alien Act, and martial law. Nobody's getting Captain Mestenek expertise anymore because I'm so tired of having my expertise questioned by people that have absolutely no experience in the field. So I'm just going to let you all go ahead and panic. It's not religion. It's not the religion that is the problem in cults. It's the coercive control. It's the raping the children every time. Cults give you a worldview. Religions are convenient worldviews that go very well with coercive control because every religion has a point where we can't explain it and you must now take it on faith. But they warp every religion as well. And trust me, as a hater of religion, we really need people to stop blaming it on religion because it's not about it. It's not about religion. They do horrible things under the guise of purity. That's what it is every time. Oh, I'm saying nothing about martial law. I'm saying I'm an Army captain with 2 years deployed, tactical experience in the air and on the ground. And none of y'all listen to me. Everybody thinks they know better, so I'm just done with that part of it. Y'all are just going to have to panic until April 20th. I started knitting when I was 5, and I had been begging my mom for some years, apparently. She made me wait till I was 5. You could not by listening to the military experts, all of whom are telling you that martial law cannot be enforced in America. But again, you're not going to. You're going to say things like this. So I'm done using my time and my energy on that. I'm done. I crochet also. I crochet almost as much as I knit. Just usually doing it off screen. Yeah. full box of signed up to ship to the publisher. Okay, now I will be off. Oh, Trump is definitely going to turn on Elon. I think it's The Secrets is a possibility, right? So the president is the classification authority. So the president can allow any American that they want access to secrets. But as soon as he wants to disappear him for releasing secrets on his website, he could just be off to Guantanamo the next day. So, there are things to hope for. There are real things out there. Oh, I feel like USPS is extremely important to freedom, and MAGA trying to get rid of it is incredibly concerning, which is why I have taken off the UPS and FedEx options. And I'm forcing y'all to use USPS if you want to read my books, because it's fun to be a gangster. And because that is the institution I have chosen to care about. All right. I hate USPS because mail is important to freedom, the ability to communicate. So dictators always control the mail system. So I keep a level head because everything you all are afraid of, I have already survived. And I'll either survive it again or I won't. But panicking is not helpful in any situation. So here we are. But also because I listen to people with expertise. She doesn't want to leave. I'm going live from College Park, Maryland right now, but I will be heading toward DC in about an hour. And I'll be wearing my combat badge so that people can still be surprised that I'm a veteran. The most identifiable veteran symbol in the world. But you're a veteran? All right. Thanks, friends. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you on Monday because I'm going to try very hard not to work this weekend. Ooh, I will be live streaming if it's possible. So hopefully you'll be able to come find me. Hi, my dearings. I think someone ordered them in blue and I don't have my blue chainmail. No, I did. So I posted something on Threads where I was like, every time I'm sitting next to a male veteran in the VA hospital, I'm wondering how many people he has assaulted. And people just like destroyed me for that, right? And not one single mother-ucker took one pause when telling me what a horrible human I was and how dare I say that about veterans to think that I was in the VA because I'm a veteran too. And like, I'm married to a really good guy that I know for a fact has never once made a woman uncomfortable. And if a random woman was sitting next to him in the VA, a random woman veteran, she would probably be wondering how many people he has assaulted. And that is the men's fault. All of the male veterans, all of them. That is all of their fault. All of the men are guilty of the grape culture in the military. Every single one of you that has ever been a veteran with a penis, it is all of your faults that every time we see a male veteran, we wonder how many people you've raped. Just really want to convey that. Every single one of you is guilty AF because I don't hear not one of you ever talking about it. Ever. Oh, I am a troublemaker. Thanks for your money. That's what I'm here for. You could be using that energy to go out and shut down the grapists. But instead, you're here talking shiz on the internet. You seem like a lovely person. Have a day. Try not to grape anyone.